bought and sold. A fresh start in Winter Garden and a franchise power move in Orlando. One seller had given everything to a business he grew up loving and needed to step away. Another had built a portfolio spanning dozens of locations and was ready to strategically reposition. Two very different sellers, two very different buyers, and two transactions that close the way restaurant deals should when the right broker is in the room. At We Sell Restaurants, every closed transaction reflects something larger than a sale. It reflects the work of understanding what a seller needs, what a buyer is looking for, and how to connect the two in a way that holds together all the way to closing day. Deal 1. A Family Legacy Finds Its Next Owner in Winter Garden, Florida, by Mel Ferioli. We Sell Restaurants. Winter Garden is one of the most desirable communities in the greater Orlando area, a city with a strong local business culture, steady population growth, and a dining scene that reflects both its roots and its momentum. This listing came with something serious buyers always want to see: an operator who knew the business from the inside out. The seller grew up in the restaurant industry, raised in a family that owned and operated multiple locations. That kind of background does not produce guesswork. It produces systems, standards, and a business built to perform. After years of operating with the intensity that only a lifelong restaurateur can sustain, the seller reached a point the industry recognizes but rarely discusses openly: burnout. This was not a business in distress. It was an owner who had given everything to his craft and made the deliberate decision to step away and pursue a new chapter. Mel Ferioli's market knowledge and targeted marketing approach generated exactly what a quality listing deserves: multiple offers. The seller had real leverage and real options, and the outcome reflected it. The buyer who closed the deal arrived from Canada with a clear purpose. He was pursuing an E2 investor visa, which requires acquiring and actively operating a qualifying U.S. business. He was not new to the industry. He had owned and operated restaurants in Canada, which meant he came to the table with practical knowledge of margins, operations, and the daily demands of restaurant ownership. Three things made this the right acquisition. The concept closely resembled what he had successfully run in Canada, reducing transition risk from day one. The location offered market stability that supports long-term success, and the business fundamentals were strong enough to step into with confidence. The seller left a 5-star review noting that Mel was well-connected, generated multiple offers, and delivered a successful close. Deal 2. A multi-unit franchise transaction closes in Orlando, Florida, by Debra and Samantha Sawyer. We Sell Restaurants. Kissimmee Sanford. Orlando is one of the most dynamic restaurant markets in the country, shaped by tourism, a growing residential base, and consumers who have options and know how to use them. When a franchise location with exceptional performance history comes to market here, qualified buyers pay attention. This listing carried credentials that are difficult to overstate. The seller had owned approximately 50 franchise locations over the course of his career and served on the franchise board. Operators at that level do not build mediocre businesses. The performance of this location was a direct reflection of who built it. His decision to sell was not driven by underperformance or urgency. It was a calculated portfolio move, part of a deliberate effort to rebalance his investments between the United States and another country. When someone with 50 locations sells one, they are not selling their problem. They are selling an asset. The buyers are a husband and wife team. The wife brings a strong economics background and a fluency in business analysis that gave the couple a clear framework for evaluating the opportunity. They were looking for a highly profitable business with demonstrated staying power and room to continue performing for years to come. This listing answered every question their due diligence could raise. What made this transaction stand out beyond the financials was the spirit of collaboration that defined it. All parties worked together from contract to close. Training was handled thoroughly. Landlord introductions were managed proactively. Debra and Samantha Sawyer managed the complexity of a multi-unit franchise sale with the kind of professional oversight that keeps moving parts from becoming obstacles. What these two transactions tell us: seller clarity enables better deals. Whether the motivation is burnout after a lifetime in the industry or a strategic portfolio rebalancing, a seller with a defined reason to exit creates the conditions for a transaction that moves efficiently and closes cleanly. Industry experience accelerates ownership confidence. Both buyers came to the table with relevant backgrounds. One had operated restaurants in Canada. One brought an economics framework and the analytical rigor to evaluate a complex franchise acquisition. In both cases, that foundation reduced risk and shortened the path to confident operation. Proven performance attracts serious buyers. Strong financials are the most persuasive marketing a listing can have. Both transactions closed because the businesses behind the listings held up under scrutiny. Collaboration closes deals. The Orlando transaction demonstrated what is possible when every party works toward the same outcome. That alignment does not happen by accident. It is the result of brokers who manage the process with intention. Ready to explore your options? Contact a certified restaurant broker at We Sell Restaurants today for a confidential conversation about the value of your restaurant and what a sale could look like for you.